Hello. I think it's working. It seems like it's doing something. I have no idea.
And
I
you are
think we're live, but I'm not sure. I think we're live. I think we're live.
you think we're live on Facebook?
Yeah, how do
That's
we
exciting.
know? How
In
do we
fact, let me look you up.
how do we
Facebook.
know? Because I've never used this. Oh, you know what? It keeps saying that my camera is not supported by the current browser.
Oh, I can see you.
See, that's what I figured because I've tried to do it before and my camera does not work for a live, but it's saying that it's connected. So I don't know.
Here, it says you're live. Hold on.
Does it? From my end, I don't see anything. It says my camera is not supported.
We are live on Facebook.
We are? Weird. Why does it say it's not supported?
You're here.
I'm here. Excellent. How do we even know if people are joining us? We just don't know because I can't see.
If you have a device in your hand. I mean, if you open Facebook and go to your profile, if you click on yourself, you'll see it.
Okay, well, welcome everyone. We did it, or I learned it in half an hour.
It's amazing. We're so adaptable. You're so beautiful. It's so good to see you and be with you.
Good to see you too. I was sitting and trying to remember how I met you actually.
It was
Do
somewhere
you
I think
remember?
during the bus tour. I think we were going around. Where are you, where have you
Yeah.
participated?
So I remember that it was one of the yoga conferences in the Illinois area.
Yeah,
I think it was Midwest Yoga
yeah.
Conference. And I went to your session and you were with Moses and you had the most amazing circle.
Oh, we did a circle.
Yeah, you had a circle, a meditation circle. I forget exactly what it was. And I think it was 2013, somewhere around there. And I think that was the first time I'd met you and the last time. But then we connected on Facebook and that's how we know each other. Crazy.
Yes. And we are you also originally Lebanese, or you have some Lebanese
I am
background?
100% Lebanese.
Oh, 100%. Me too.
And I think that was the connection factor too, because I noticed your name was Arabic and I was like, hey, what's your background?
Oh, that's amazing. Cool. Well, thanks for
So,
creating this conversation chat. I'm so excited. I know you're doing this for the first time, but for me too, I've been in the closet artist. So when you asked me, I'm like, oh, what am I gonna say? So I'm so excited, and I'm so excited to discuss whatever we're gonna discuss together with you.
excellent. Yeah, this is my first time doing it on a Facebook Live. I usually pre-record it, but I keep the raw video, like whatever we talk about. I never edit the video and I post it on YouTube. So
Mm.
I am recording now and I'll probably post it on YouTube just in case there's any glitches on Facebook because I'm not sure what's going on Facebook right now.
Awesome.
So welcome. And I guess we'll start with a little background about you. Maybe like a brief bio and how you found your sense of creation or creativity and how you became the artist that you are today.
I love this question. You know, we're all so creative as kids. Like I was so creative as a kid, and then I stopped. Like when you met me, it was the beginning of me getting back into it, but it's not till 2020 that I started diving in. And what had me dive in is give up that art had to look a certain way and allowing that child, Zayna, to step in and create. So, as an artist bio, I would say the best work I've done is when I was a child, and it's just allowing that childlike freedom and curiosity and creativity um, flow through in whatever I'm passionate about. And in the moment, I've been really passionate about art that opens the heart and allows the divine energy of the universe to flow through the art. Um, as my expression, which has been painting and blinging my art. I love putting bling on my art, and that's the little Z in me. Like, so yeah. And then, for my life, I've been mostly guiding and learning and growing myself. I've had yoga studios in South Florida, and I've done a lot of group work, like what you came to, the meditation circle, doing women's circle. I've been really enjoying music a lot. I've been doing music circles too, kirtan style, which is like a call and response of the divine names of God in many languages. But then also having it be not very traditional, where we freestyle and rap and bring in some funkiness. So that's a little bit of about my creative journey.
Nice. It's very multifaceted. I'm
Very.
curious how you got into specifically the painting part. So I see you have a couple of pieces behind you,
I
and
brought a bunch with
and
me. This
and,
is
and you have crystals on those. I
Yeah,
love it. I'm also loving that you're using Arabic calligraphy, and that's Allah, the name of God
yes,
in Arabic. Beautiful.
a lot. This is the Bling Allah collection. I just, the but to answer your question about the painting part,
Hmm.
I definitely haven't touched paint my whole life. So this is very new to me. Um, and I started doing henna a few years ago. I discovered I'm a doodler, and I don't know any doodlers out there, but it's just so nice to do henna. It's really just doodling.
Yeah.
And one day, a friend of mine, Yvonne, said, "Zaina, why don't you take your henna and put it on a canvas?" And I had never thought of that, so I ordered paints on Amazon and just started doing all this stuff.
Lovely. Lovely.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's really gorgeous. I love the colors that you're using. Um,
Thank you.
so why did you choose to do the paintings this way? Like, how did it come to you that you wanted to create in this way? Why do you use the materials that you're using? And
Let me show you
what
guys.
inspires you to make this work? What is your
So
inspiration?
let me tell you about this one and how, like, what comes from this one. So, oh, there's so much. It's that going into the childlike thing and allowing for what's needs to come through, like, without censoring.
Mhm.
I have shells here. I
Beautiful.
love shells so much. If you look at them, there's a bunch of them here. They're so different. Some are big, some are small, but each one of them is just amazing. But I channeled when I was in Hawaii, taking shells and creating spirals
Mhm.
on the sand, and each shell would represent a prayer. So, and I've been doing that for several years. Whenever I went to Hawaii, probably about 10 years ago, I do it everywhere. I have a bag of shells with me. They're like my mala beads. So I take my spiritual practices or inspirations. With this, I wanted to experiment with paint. So was actually going to be like a water, looking down into a water, and
Yeah.
turned into this. It is like this, like, vortex. And then the spiral is the spirals that I've been doing with the shells. And then the writing, I got into the 99 names of God last Ramadan,
Yeah.
last year for Ramadan. I just started studying them and chanting them and chanting them. And
Uh-huh.
so, and then I started writing them. So
Oh.
this for me were really deep meditations of the 99 names of God. So that's what that is. It's Arabic for Al-Rahman, Al-Rahim, Al-Malik,
Mhm.
Al-Qudus, which are the 99 qualities, divine qualities of God. And I use Sharpies. I don't.
Mhm.
I love using Sharpies so much on paint. I,
Beautiful.
yeah,
Love
and then
that piece.
uh huh.
Um, what is the medium? Is it acrylics? The
No, I use water paint.
Oh,
I
really?
forget the name of it, but it's a water paint that's a Japanese water paint, so it's more towards gouache, but less towards acrylics or oils. You know,
Yeah.
it's not as translucent. It's got a little bit of thickness to it, but it's
Mhm.
fabulous. I love and I love how it spreads on. I
Yeah.
have yeah
I have a question too.
yeah.
How does it feel to you when you're creating these pieces? What do you feel? I know you mentioned something about childlike, but I'm sure there's something more, not just like the childlike, because of course, like when you're creating, you have to sort of like be in that space where everything's brand new. But tell me more about like the feelings, the sensations that you experience when you're creating those pieces.
You know what's what got present to is like there's a silence that happens. Um, yeah, it's like an emptiness that allows for like such a vastness. Um,
Beautiful.
yeah.
Yeah, I've had answers like that before too, and I think that's what makes the process so powerful, and why once you start it, I know a lot of people are intimidated, especially if they've never painted. I think once you start it, once you take that paintbrush and you experience that place of silence, if you can, then it becomes something that you want to do all the time, I think personally. Even if you're not creating anything that's like amazing and that anybody wants to, purchase from you or whatever, it's just for your own well-being. And and
I,
that's why, like, that's one of the reasons I'm so interested in the creative process, is because of how healing it is.
oh, that's so well put. It really is. I don't know if I don't think I have done this art looking from will people appreciate it. I just started taking it to these little fairs we have with the yoga community from I Love Yoga here in South Florida. And at first it was like I still am, you know, very shy about it. And I've had people buy pieces and I'm like, really? You want this? And but it's so nice and it's yeah, the process is incredible. For me, I it is like a meditation. It's a prayer, and anytime we have the opportunity to stop and smell the roses and meditate and pray, is awesome. So art, I think, I don't know if it's meant for that for everybody.
Yeah.
It's definitely a pathway to that divine space where time stops, you know, and yeah, music, art.
Can you, since you're also like, you've dabbled in music, could you compare both processes? Would you be able to find like similarities or differences between like creating music, when you create music, or when you create a painting?
I just had to step back because I started thinking about most of the time I make music is with people. And it's not the same thing. I'm
Got it.
still in my head, I'm communicating with them, and but once we get to know, and yeah, but then I was like, but wait, let me look at when I'm creating music by myself. Oh, then it's like, it's such a flow, and it's again like the freedom of allowing. And I guess we can have that with people too, but I definitely see by myself it's more. And to compare the process to art, it's a, you know, it's all a surrender and letting go. I get scared making music. I get scared making art. It's so, and then to feel, it's like in life, to feel the fear and go for it anyways. I do like freestyling. It's the most terrifying thing in the world, but it's exhilarating. It's like it's so exciting, and that's the process of art and music. Is there's this exhilaration if we allow it to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, personally, for me, my favorite way of creating is improvising. I love improvising with everything, even like my cooking. It's like whatever, whatever comes to me. It's like now it's time to put this with this and see how it tastes. Like I love doing things like, again, like you said, like the childlike, like approaching everything like with a new empty slate. Like I have no agendas whatsoever, and I'm just gonna see what's gonna happen here, and like just allow it to just come through.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
love.
that's great. I could see how I definitely operate. I do operate from both. I got a download the other day for Ramadan, which is coming up April 2nd, and it's going to be the month I'm going to birth. I don't know when, but it's going
Oh
to be.
yeah.
Yeah, I get.
Tell me more. Tell me more.
I'm gonna have a Ramadan baby. And what I'm doing the month of April is I'm taking the 99 names and I'm doing a collection. So I'm gonna just do that every day.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
Paint and create and make music. Um, and that I've thought out. And it came through a
Got
channeled source where it was like, whoa, the 99 names, and there's going to be 3 collections. The first one's black and white. The second one we add color. The third one we add the bling bling. Um, yeah, so sometimes it comes in unexpected ways, and then I formulate it before I do it, like something like that. Um, and then there's because you get into collections like the spiral thing like that came through and then I just was like I still don't know what to do with the backgrounds. That's an area where I go in and I'm like, okay, what's it gonna look like? um, I don't know a lot of painting techniques, Susie. I'm learning, but
Yeah.
YouTube is amazing with that. So I put myself in front of YouTube videos and just watch people paint, and like Bob Ross. I watch Bob Ross.
He's the best. But
I
yeah,
just
I
found
mean,
out about him. He's amazing.
yeah, he's got good videos. Um, you're absolutely right. I mean, you need to have some sort of a skill and a skill set, especially if you're going to pursue this and like become a professional in the field. Like there's a level of skill that's needed for sure. And you also have to balance like letting go and actually knowing when you need to like go into your thinking mind and like, oh, like I need it to look like this or need it to look like that, like as opposed to just going with it and like letting it speak to you and tell you what it should be as opposed to you telling it what it should be.
Totally. Is the allowing for like it's part of the like we make plans and God laughs, and we could look at it in that way, like we can create something and then allow for that. You know what? It's gonna go this direction completely because it's what's being called for. Oh, yeah, the
Yeah.
practice of detachment.
Absolutely. It's a great teacher to start a painting. Like every painting is a whole other learning. It's a world in itself. Um, wow. I mean, so much to talk about when it comes to creative process. I feel like we could go like in so many different directions.
Yeah, I know this is my like you interviewing me, but can I see any of
No,
your
it's
art? I have no
not
idea what you do.
necessarily an interview. We're
Okay.
conversing here. I mean, I
Yeah, but
love
well,
asking
the
questions.
focus of this convo is me, but I'd love to see some of your art. Can you show us one thing like that you do?
I wish I'm not in my studio right now, so
Oh,
like all my art is over there, sadly.
really?
I actually want to start like another space here in my home that I can actually paint because I kind of miss painting at like 3 a.m., which I haven't been able to do since I moved. Sometimes I wake up at 3 a.m. and I'm like, I need to paint, but my painting supplies are at the studio. I don't think I'm going to drive over there right now.
Oh, wow.
So that's one thing that I miss about like not having my studio in the house. But yeah, I mean, I do have some stuff. They're mostly on Instagram. I don't have anything here, unfortunately.
And what will you do paintings?
Yeah, mostly I paint. I've dabbled in ceramics in the past when I was in school, and photography as well as sculpture, but I haven't really like pursued it. I've also done some prints, like copper plate prints. That process is very fascinating because you like literally use acid on the copper plate and it eats out your drawing. Like you sketch
Oh,
the drawing on the copper plate and then the acid literally dissolves that stuff out. It's pretty cool.
nice.
I don't have supplies or any of the necessary equipment. That stuff is extra expensive for me right now. So maybe one day I'll have like a full on, set up studio with everything, and then people can come and make all the art they want.
So fun. It's so cool that you have a studio. I live in a studio apartment and I just
Oh,
have all my paintings up. I took them down so I could show you them, but like I have I just have the whole place decked out.
yeah, that's so cool.
This goes like this. It's a four-piece.
I love
Um,
it.
thanks. Um, and then here I'll show you another 99 names. The sunrise 99 names.
Nice. Those are really great pieces.
Thank you so much.
I bet some of the people that I'm connected with would love to have some of these pieces.
Oh,
Assuming you can ship them to the Arab world.
I hope so. I also NFT'd everything, so I've taken the NFT world as an opportunity to create really a virtual global gallery for my art. So I've been working on that too.
So tell me more about the NFT. How's that going? Because I've been completely resisting that whole entire world as
Here's the thing
much.
about NFTs, okay? It's just like it's something that's just coming, just like the internet didn't make sense to us in the 90s when email came out. So it's transforming two areas. It's transforming the art and entertainment world, and it's transforming what they call the utilities NFT world, which is almost like programs that need to be created to make things function using this new technology called NFT. Now, where art exists is not in that world. Art exists in art and entertainment. And if you take art and entertainment, just like how it is in the world right now, how it's been,
Yeah.
it's just being photocopied into a digital world. Susie, I have a hard time understanding why people buy art because to me it's clutter.
Really?
Yeah, like my
Yeah,
boyfriend
you're
collects.
creating it, but yet.
And yeah, and I'm like, well, why would anybody want this? It's the same thing with NFTs. People, there's a world of artists and there's a world of collectors that like to collect art. So they may purchase real art, but they'll also purchase digital art. So it's just a virtual world where you have artists and collectors, just like you do in the real world of art and paintings. Um, so it's just a way to have yourself. If you're gonna go the art route with NFTs, which is the only one I'm really interested in, is getting my collections up in the art galleries online.
So have you sold anything? Have you sold any
No,
NFTs?
no, I haven't done anything with them. It's the same thing as opening up a gallery, putting up your art, and not telling anybody about it.
Got it, and just
I also,
somebody
I
wanders
also
around and checks it out or whatever.
and nobody knows about me. So right now I'm just building it and I'm putting it up and it's fun because you basically take pictures of your art and then you can like I put bling on mine, digital bling, so I make it sparkle or I do little effects on it. And then I have my Allah bling collection, I have the spiral collection, I have the sunrise collection, and it's just a way to display the art. It's just doesn't make sense to me either, but it's fun.
I mean, I get the idea behind it. I just I'm like an in-person kind of person. Like if I could, I would meet with you in person right now and have this discussion. I would prefer it personally to having to go on Zoom and be like Facebook Live.
I would only want to be in person.
Yeah, same thing with my art. Like I prefer to see art like a hard copy as they would say, like an actual piece of art that was handmade as opposed to something digital.
Me too, especially my art in 3D.
But
You know,
that's just how I am, and that's part of why I've been resisting the whole NFT thing. And maybe, like maybe I'll regret it down the line, but so far I feel like I'm okay like this. Like I don't
you
need that
don't
whole
you don't have to digitize your art.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
not going to miss out on anything. And not like I'm in the same exact like thinking of you. I actually asked this to my mentor the other day. I was like, how do we like, with all these things coming, like the metaverse, like this is a metaverse right here. This is
Yeah,
what it looks like.
yeah.
Um, and it's really getting, um, we have so much work to do as light workers and what we're here to do and what we're here to share. And it's one other pathway for us to share and use if we wish to use it. It's like Facebook. Who wants to be on Facebook right now? Aren't we all ready to unplug? And we're still on and we're using it. So we're
Because
picking and choosing.
it's a way to communicate and connect these days, especially now with the whole situation with world travel and getting to reach people that we used to be able to reach and now we can't. It's kind of like we're being confined,
It's
extremely
it's really
confined.
it's totally what it's about. Like Facebook confines us. Blockchain, like having being able to produce art and then send it to my 1,000 followers individually and not go through Facebook is what the NFT world is about. So
Yeah,
you keep taking out the middleman between you and your people. But
God.
it's just it is what it is. There's so much to learn, and I think I have a crypto course starting Saturday, and one of the things I make really clear to
I
people is
saw that. I saw
it's
that.
not everybody's going to resonate with any of it. I started learning about crypto and I was like, I don't want to have anything to do with this. I don't want to have anything to do with this. I just didn't want to have anything to do with any of it. And I've found areas that make sense to me and that I align with. So that's really what's important is just that whatever you do, it aligns with your soul, it aligns with your
Yeah.
heart, and you're not being inauthentic and full of caca with yourself.
Yeah. So share with me a little bit about the crypto and like what did you find there that resonated with you?
You know how I started is I've been watching documentaries for years about all kinds of rabbit holes, one of them being the financial system. And if you know about the fiat currency backed by gold, blah, 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 it's only logical to know that something's going to break down at some point. It has no integrity. Without integrity, things break down.
Absolutely.
So I just was, I've been like watching and then waiting for the collapse. And then, we're seeing it right before our eyes. Everything is collapsing. All the out of integrity, the call it corruption, manipulation, all the caca, but it's really out of integrity. There's no alignment. It's breaking down because all the spokes of the wheels are broken. And when I heard about Bitcoin, Bitcoin was born in 2007. I didn't really get what Bitcoin was till 2020. And when I got what Bitcoin was, I got what this whole world was happening was. And that was exciting to me. Now, in 2022,
So what
it,
is Bitcoin? Can you just say what you got, like the
so
gist of it?
Bitcoin is a currency that is by the people. So,
Hmm, got it.
so so fiat currency, basically, when they took the gold backing off of the money, what backs your $20 bill is that you're trusting the government to give you that value. And they mess with the value by printing more without backing it with anything. So, anyways, there's all this manipulation with money that's possible by a small group of people. They give money value. The reason that Bitcoin went up to 60,000 at the end of last year, now it's like at 40, whatever it is, it started at zero. The reason it was able to go to 60,000 for one coin is that value was decided by millions of people, not by a small group of people controlling the value of a currency and controlling the people.
Hmm.
Now, there's evil things in everything, in Sufism they call them the jinns. They're basically the elite, the Satan, the whatever you want to call it, the antichrist of
The,
everything.
the Jinn strain, yeah.
The jinns. Thank you. Exactly. Um,
I mean, some of them are good.
totally.
But I learned back in the day. Like some of them are good, some of them are bad. You just gotta be careful who you associate with.
Totally. And you've got to feel it, and it's the same thing in the crypto world. It's like you've got all kinds of stuff going on. And I say, like, it's changed so much. Like now in 2022, like there's a thing that just went up. Of course, the government now is going to do policies around it. They just announced something today. But it's more about, utilizing that technology to keep doing the same manipulation, corruption, out of integrity stuff that's been going on for centuries. So, but there's also an opportunity in that technology for the people to uphold the freedom of the people. So that's what got me really excited about an alternative way of transacting.
Yeah. Well, when you said that Bitcoin is by the people, I think that kind of like got me, it got my attention a little bit because I've always thought that it's not. And how do you know that it is by the people? Like, what makes you say that statement and completely believe it and know that it's really by the people and there's no one else behind it?
Well, there is other people behind it. There's, you could see the purchases of Bitcoin on the ledger. And when the market crashes really hard or weird thing has happened, you could see on the ledgers that one person went in and bought a whole bunch of Bitcoin or sold it, but you don't know who it is. So there are people still manipulating this market, and little people are getting crushed by it. And if you're somebody who's operating off of fear of missing out and you don't really know what you're doing, you can get crushed. It's a
Absolutely.
it's a crazy place right now. So
Like
and there's
everything
a lot
else.
of like a government blockchain currency is coming. That's not a good thing. It's not for the people by the people. That's just some more BS. And um, so I would wake up in the middle of the night. I woke up in the middle of the night and I sold currencies because I was like, no way, I don't want to be involved with these. I just knew that the jinns were involved, but not the good ones.
What brought to mind the gins in the cryptocurrency? Like I'm mind boggled. What would
well,
they even, how would
well,
they even use it? Like they're in a
well,
whole nother dimension, right? That's what we learn is that they're
totally.
not in this dimension. So how would they even use the cryptocurrency in their dimension? Do they use money there?
Well,
Who
infiltrate.
knows?
They infiltrate like the internet. The internet. They infiltrate the electromagnetic fields of the internet. And cryptocurrency is virtual, so I would say, it's just discernment, with anything, so that you're all I just saw an NFT website for light workers where they're creating, I don't even understand it. I'm like, well, I don't understand, what are we doing here? But it's, so we're utilizing that technology to spread the light, just like if you're using Facebook, even though you may be against Facebook and what they've been doing, you're utilizing to share the light and share the love until you move on to something else.
Yeah, I have to say though, like I don't think that the jinns would be in the electromagnetic fields because even if they were, they're not going to be able to do much. I think the way that jinn would function is they would get into someone's mind, right?
That's how they get in.
That's how they get humans is they would manipulate your
Right.
frequency, your vibration, the way that you're running your life, the things that you're called to do and not do. That's what jinns do. They
Think
mess
about
around with your
your head.
yeah.
But think
Not
about
electromagnetics. Like I don't think that's how it works. I think it's
maybe not
more on a human level.
maybe not the electromagnetics, but what comes through it. It's like, think about the scrolling that people do right now and how all these things are going into the mind. It's crazy what's being.
Yeah.
So maybe not that, like, they're not going through the electromagnetic field itself, but whatever's coming through it is allowing for them to get into the minds.
Yeah. Just a little clarification for those who don't know what jinn are. Jinn, it's a concept that's present in Islam and Sufism, and it's that there are entities that exist in a parallel dimension to humans that are actually made of fire as opposed to earth, because humans are made of earth and angels are made of light. And these entities some of them are evil, some of them are not, and some people associate with them and sort of bring magic into the world in that way, and that's what's called black magic,
Mm.
when someone's associating with those evil jinns. So look it up. It's Jins, I think.
Yeah. I think sometimes it's got two ends. Thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah, just because not a lot of people are familiar with this concept, and I think it's very similar to the idea of fairies. You know how like people believe in fairies? That's what jinn are. You know, sometimes they're the,
I've never heard
they
that.
call them, they're the, is it takers or something? No, they hide stuff in the house or something, like when you
The
something goes
owl?
missing.
Oh.
Like when something goes missing and you're trying to find it, they'll say that the jinn took it. Like at least that's like an old maid
They hit it.
used to tell us when we were little, like, oh no, they took it. Like, you know,
Oh my God, we went
find
into
where they
so
put it.
we went into like crypto, into the gins. That
This
was a
was
lot.
this was a great conversation. We completely moved from the creative process, but that was fun.
It's so good. It's just, I think we're all learning um, to tap into the subtle, where you can feel like, I don't want to get involved in this, or, whatever you may call it, whether it's the gins or whatever it is that doesn't align with us. Um, we all get to choose. And, it's a dualistic world we're in. So there's everything. There's a whole buffet, and
Absolutely.
it's no different in any of it. Art can also be created to, highlight darkness and the other side of things, and that's art too. It's a part of a creation.
Yeah.
Om Namah Shivaya, destruction. I've just been focused on Allah. That's what's been coming through.
Hey, that's a good focus to have,
Oh.
especially, you know, with Ramadan on the way. Um, well, I guess, is there anything else that you'd like to share? What I know you said you're having the crypto event that's coming up. If people wanted to participate, just look it up. Do you have it on like Facebook events, or is it,
The
you have a
course
website?
is,
Where can people
yes.
follow you and find you? And
I have a link tree, linktree.com/Zayna De Gaia. That's really the best place to go to get all my current stuff. And you can get to it from my website too, which is zaynadegaia.com. If there's anything else that I wanted to add is one, just total gratitude for this conversation, Susie, and for you. I'm a big fan of yours. I think you're amazing. I think um, you're very, I don't even want to say you're courageous, because it's not that you're fearless, but you have the ability to let yourself be seen and heard, and it's generous and it inspires people. So I just wanted to say that. Thank you.
thank you. I'm so touched.
Yeah. Um, and the second thing, what comes to me is compassion.
Mm,
I think it's just an ingredient we just need a lot of right now.
thank you.
For all of us, I think we're all pretty hard on ourselves, and we're all pretty hard on each other, especially the people we love the most. And I am so guilty of that, holding grudges, being upset. And I'm present to being in the third trimester, and I was listening to Bruce Lipton. Moses sent me a video, and he says, up to 7 years old is when the programs get in the subconscious for a human being, and then you've got the man or the woman done. And it starts at the third trimester. So all my little caca things of not being good enough, or all the
Yeah.
subconscious stories I've picked up, like I'm in my third trimester, and I'm just really taking it seriously. Not from like being rigid and tough on myself, but like really be committed to the honor it is to, one, to birth, but also to just be a human being and have the ability to feel and have that compassion in our hearts for ourselves and one another. Like, how people go to gurus to get mercy so they can get compassion, like that we have the ability to do that with ourselves.
Absolutely.
That's
It
what
all,
came through. That's the most important thing right now.
all starts with ourselves. So you're gonna be a mama.
Yes.
I love it.
Oh, are you a mama?
Yeah, I have 2 children.
How old are they?
They're adults now.
Wow.
22 and 20.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. I've done my mama duties.
I look at Mama's so different now. I'm like, you are the guru. It's
Oh,
some,
you're so sweet. I'm no guru by any means.
well, just the fact that you've gone through it twice to me is quite like amazing. You know,
Yeah, it's
just
definitely a huge, big teacher. And sometimes I feel like I wish I could take back time and just go back to when they were so little and do it all over again.
yeah.
But hey, life just keeps going on, and from one season to the next. And this has been like a very interesting time in my life,
Hmm.
because it feels like a new life, a completely new person. Like the person that you met back in 2013 does not exist anymore. It's just like, completely been shed. But it feels like, honestly, it feels like I'm a teenager again. Not in the sense of like um immaturity, because when we're that young, we're very immature. I feel like I'm a teenager, but with that maturity, like
I
that
could still see
combination.
that. I
Like
see it.
I can still do all the things that I want to do, but I have so much more wisdom and so much more maturity than I had back then. So it's like, it feels like such a blessing.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to describe it. Some people are like, oh my gosh, I'm getting old, and like, like, I don't identify with that. It just does not. I don't know why. It's just not in my. It's
You're
not in
having
my.
fun. That's what I hear. You're just like, you
Yeah.
have the ability to have fun.
I'm trying to make it that way. Like that's what I want my life to be, because we're only here for just a little bit, right? And if we keep worrying about, oh my gosh, like I just got like a gray hair, I gotta pull it out. Then what? And there's a wrinkle here, and I gotta go get Botox and surgery here and surgery there. It's like we're just wasting our time instead of living. So
Oh,
that's my little rant. Anyway, I think we should
thank
probably wrap it
you.
up, because I have some little tiny paintings that are waiting for me to go paint.
Awesome. Oh, sister, thank you so much. This was such a fun
Thank
conversation.
you. Thanks to you. Let's stay connected. I'd love to visit, and maybe you should come over this way.
Illinois. We're supposed to.
No, I'm in California now.
Where?
I'm in the Monterey area.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I moved from Michigan. When I met you, I was living in Michigan.
Coast to coast. Okay.
There you go. And you're in Florida, right?
I'm all the way east on the Atlantic.
Very cool. It's nice and warm over there.
Oh yeah.
Good for you.
Thank
Okay, it was lovely to connect, and good luck with
you.
baby and everything. And hopefully
Thank you.
we'll be in touch again.
Okay, sister.
Bye bye. Take care.